Well, Unity Game Engine just completely nuked their company with their announcement of the 20-cent fee that is coming to developers for game installs. We're going to take a look at it here because this is unbelievable. So many indie game developers and game people out there are commenting on this. It's an absolute crapshoot for Unity to do something like this, and it's going to destroy their business in the long run. While the revolt against Unity has started, Unity being the game engine of choice in a lot of games, especially for mobile games. They do random number generation, they do animations, they do everything you need in a game engine, much like Unreal, and now I'm learning about Godot, which is another one that's out there. If you're on like Itch.io or Game Jolt, they're free websites you can go to play indie games. They're where indie games really start to take off, really start to get developed. A game like The Baby in Yellow is still being developed. You can download it on Itch.io for either fairly cheap or free, and then continue on. Games also like Amanda the Adventure is on there as well. That's where these games get their start, and in a lot of cases, game developers turn to Unity Engine to turn around and do that. One such game is Cult of the Lamb by Devolver Entertainment, or Devolver, I can't remember the whole name of them, but Cult of the Lamb was a hit. They're pretty much an indie developed game. It was a hit. It sold millions of copies on Steam, and now because of the new Unity Engine fee, the new 20-cent fee, they're no longer going to sell it come January 1st. I'm seeing other developers say, okay, well, all our games are now limited to 999 copies. That's it. We're not selling any more than that. They're just going to cut it off at the maximum that they can use Unity to. Now, this is all after you pay thousands of dollars for the Unity engine to develop your games in the first place. So Unity has pretty much said they're going to pickpocket every developer out there. This comes on the heels of, I gotta say, I told you so. You had to pay attention to this, but you know, I'm a small channel here, and because I am a very small channel, I don't have much reach here, and I need all of you to subscribe to the channel right now, because I spoke and was warning about this a year ago when Unity picked up malware as part of their engine. So just to be clear here, ironSource no longer technically deals with the malware side of things. They are not a malware anymore, but they did create that, and they say that it was spun off years ago, but that doesn't mean they don't already have the knowledge of what that gave them, on how they can use proprietary data to their advantage. And that is where Unity obviously is getting this idea from, how they know how many installs are being counted. So the Unity runtime fee is going to be from runtime installs. So everything Unity runs uses this runtime install now as part of the system, kind of similar to what they were doing in that sense. This is why I bring it up. It is something that I warned about back in July 2022. It's a video I actually took down because it was underperforming. I go through my videos often enough that I take down anything that's underperforming and I just archive it, is all I do. They don't disappear, they're still there, and they get unlisted because they're not doing anything in the algorithm and not helping me along, and that's one of the reasons why I do that. But this is insane to even know that Unity knows how many installs are going on behind the backs of the developers. It's kind of, just to fathom this for a second, developer knows they make this thing. They make it with Unity, right? Does Unreal Engine keep track of how many times it's been installed in games? I'm pretty sure they just sell their system and then the game gets sold and it uses the Unreal Engine. And a lot of times there is proprietary or assets that you can mix and mingle between all of these different game engines. And this, to me, I don't know the full inner workings of Unity. It just seems very odd that suddenly Unity knows every little detail about every game that has been out there on the market, and they're like, we want our piece. We want a different piece. You know, they're already charging $5,000 per seat. That's per user for their project, for their game engine in a developer, where if you have a developer sitting people down and you have hundreds of people working on a video game, that $5,000 escalates to $50,000 very quickly. 10 people in your company using Unity, that's $50,000. Now it's $50,000 plus 20 cents an install. Well, with that level, it's a lower cost for the install, but it's still pennies on the dollar that add up very, very quickly. This is where it comes down to. I am seeing hundreds of indie developers make statements on this stuff. It's absolutely insanity that it has gone to this point. You know, Cult of the Lamb, they're going to pull their title come January 1st when this pricing takes effect, because it's going to retroactively hit future installs. Games already created in Unity under the old terms of service are going to be hit by this, because Unity has also removed their original terms of service off GitHub. They've taken it down, and people are having a hard time finding it right now, but it's out there. People will find it, and it will end up in a class action lawsuit against Unity at this point. This was similar to what was going on with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro when they were trying to change the terms of service with the Open Gaming license. Pretty much saying that they own part of it, and if they want to use it and make money off of it, and you can only make so much money before you have to pay them. Small-time developers that were making adventures were in an uproar. The same way these indie developers are talking about it. They want Unity to say, no, this cannot go forward. We are making a stand at this point. Most of these developers are abandoning Unity at this point, and it's just going to get worse. There's many games that I am seeing here that we have played on this channel, that we have played in general. You go through your Steam library, you will find hundreds of games that are made in Unity. Now, at the same time, Unity is saying future installs, like if you own the game and then you reinstall it on your system because you upgraded, it's not going to recharge you, but that's really hard to say. I don't understand that. In some cases, there is free-to-play games like I talk about with Itch.io, games that were just made and thrown out there as a development gala or something of a weekend where people went and said, okay, let's use Unity for this challenge, and we make a plethora of games, and one of them comes out and suddenly gets installed 200,000 times. That one game that got installed 200,000 times has now bankrupt the developer that made it, and he's having to sell his house just to pay off Unity because he made a free game, one that he wasn't charging money for in the first place. And it's absolutely insanity to see these things going on. Like some of the stuff here, like this one, Slay the Spire, is a great game. It's an amazing game, and they're even talking about this. They're making a statement on this, and they're saying at the very bottom, we have never made a public statement before. This is how badly you have fucked up Unity. This is absolutely insanity. Unity, you need to reverse this action immediately, because your company is on the line at this point, and thousands of people are about to drop you dead in the night. Anyway, I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cinder Shadow. I'm signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon.